Negative. The being is inorganic and heavily damaged. That is a zombie.
So one of the big questions that's getting asked since Marvel Zombies has dropped is why exactly has Ikaris been giving Captain Marvel those good hands for 5 years straight? And there are so many different avenues to take this question down into because number one, we have to understand that the movie Eternals happens after the blip, which is Thanos snaps away half of the all life in the universe. 5 years later, all of that life returns. This causes the Celestial to basically begin its emergence, and then the events of the Eternals play out during that entire sequence, right? This event, everything that's going on, occurs at the end of Infinity War. Technically, I wouldn't even say at the end of Infinity War. It would be at the beginning of Infinity War is when this viral infection starts going around the planet, turning everyone into zombies. Which means that there was no snap to wipe out half of all life. Which means that the Eternals on Ikaris's end, he never had to go around and recruit them after he killed not Arishem. I cannot remember her name off the top of my head, but that is completely irrelevant. He did not have to go around and recruit them the way he did in the Eternals movie because he probably never killed the Prime Eternal in this timeline. But Ikaris is a loyal soldier. He 100% follows whatever order he is given by Arishem. So that would mean that in that time frame, at some point in time, the Nova Corps discovers that Earth has been infected with this plague. They cordon off the entire planet so that nobody can come in and nobody can go out. And at some point in time during that sequence, Captain Marvel shows up, probably with the Nova Corps or probably on her own to investigate, because it's highly likely that in this universe, when this situation began, Fury also activated the distress beacon to call Captain Marvel back to Earth in hopes of getting her assistance to contain whatever this is. And on her arrival, she was infected. Now, now we get to the crux of the question. Why has he been boxing with Captain Marvel for 5 years straight? It had to have been a directive from Arishem. As a loyal soldier, and with the way in which the Celestials essentially operate, which is they seed life on worlds so that those worlds can go on to give birth to new Celestials. This infection, this virus, this zombie plague had to be a universal threat. A universal threat of just unimaginable proportions, to the point where Arishem contacts either the Prime Eternal herself or Ikaris and said, "You have to contain Captain Marvel." Because at that point in time, Thor wasn't infected. He was beaten by zombie Thanos, but he wasn't infected by zombie Thanos. Arishem had to have given Ikaris that directive. Your sole purpose on this planet is to make sure nothing escapes this planet. Captain Marvel has the ability, without needing a ship, to fly off planet and go wherever she wants and spread the plague. As a direct result, my man has been in an eternal power struggle with Captain Marvel, containing her on the planet. Because we've seen in the Captain Marvel movie, Captain Marvel flying off into space and absolutely destroying just legions upon legions of Kree ships, which means that she could easily punch a hole right through the Nova Corps and just fly off into space to Xandar or some other planet and begin spreading this infection across the entire universe, essentially, just unstoppable. He had to contain her, which means he has to consistently and continually fight her, which is one of the reasons why when she's getting the backstory, I believe, from Blade explains that I don't even think this happened. Well, yes, it does happen that way. But Blade explains that they have been in an eternal struggle, neither one of them able to kill the other, and they kill anybody that comes in basically that area that they're fighting in. Where as soon as you go into that area, you get vaporized. You either get vaporized by Captain Marvel because she's trying to kill you and eat you because she's a zombie, or you get vaporized by Ikaris because he needs no distractions in the area that he's containing her in, which is why it's called the Valley of the Fallen Gods. The true question I want to know is where are the rest of the Eternals? Because we know that the Eternals cannot be infected with the zombie plague because they aren't actual living beings. They are extremely sophisticated, high-end androids created by the Celestials. Where's Thena? Where is Cersei? Where have all of the Eternals essentially disappeared to? What are they currently doing while this zombie infection is running roughshod across the entire planet? I hope that if we get a season 2, they dive into what exactly the Eternals are up to. But I love the idea that the only person that's probably able to contain Captain Marvel, of course, because she can fly, is Ikaris, and he is giving it his absolute all, like soldier's focus, 100% dedication to making sure that she cannot get off of the planet. And I know that has to low-key piss off Scarlet Witch on some level, that you have somebody as powerful as Captain Marvel under your control, but you can't pull her away from that situation without also pulling Ikaris along, and then you probably don't have the juice to kill him or control him because he's not a living being that you can use your powers to basically manipulate, and whose mind that you can essentially break. But yeah, that's it. Peace.